All right, everyone. Good morning and welcome to another awesome Sea Island morning show. I tell you, we're so happy.
Yes.
We're so happy. I tell you, it is another awesome day here. Listen, everybody. You need to turn those radios up because today we are continuing our series on breaking the cycle. We're talking about hair breakage as well as breaking bad habits.
Yes.
But before we get into all of that, first, welcome back, Trendy Lindy.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am so excited to be back.
Because the last time you was in Jamaica, right?
Yes, I was.
How was that?
Oh, my goodness. It was wonderful. I want to go back.
Okay, now this isn't Stella Got a Groove.
We're going to have to do a show on that. Okay, go ahead.
Now, for those of you who are just tuning in, good morning. This is Sea Island here at the Sea Island Morning Show. We're coming to you live here from the nation's capital. I always like to say it over and over again that we're so honored and privileged that all of you all across the world is listening to our show this morning, from Tony in Switzerland, from New York, we have Atlanta, we have France,
Alabama.
We have them all listening to us, and we just appreciate you. I consider myself as the beauty king to keep you updated with all of the latest news and events in beauty. Now, before we get started with Breaking the Cycle series, I want to kind of go over what happened the weekend.
Okay.
So first, on Saturday, one of our graduates, Marlene David, she opened her own salon. She just graduated recently and became a salon owner. And on Saturday, me and the admissions director, Mr. Wells, we went to her grand opening.
Okay.
And I think the blessing thing about it, Trendy, was the fact that all 4 of her stations were filled.
Wow.
And they were all filled with graduates of the Bennett Career Institute. So I take my hat off to Danielle Mayfield, to Marlene David, to Alicia Alexander, and to Melvin Taylor. All of those are the graduates of the Bennett Career Institute, and Marlene opened her own salon on Saturday. So congrats to her.
Well done, Marlene.
Congrats to her. And she just graduated in September. Also, and that was on Saturday. On Sunday, we started off with the photo shoot, all of the Sea Island Salons and Spas photo shoot. Talk to me, Linda. What did you think about the photo shoot?
Oh, my goodness. I thought it was wonderful. First of all, we had Mark Carter there as the photographer. Mark Carter is wonderful. I love his passion.
He's the owner of the Metro Salon Pro.
Yes, he is a phenomenal photographer, an awesome businessman. But he was there before time. We started at 10 a.m. He was there at 9, ready, preparing, getting the salon together for a fabulous photo shoot. But let me tell you, those stylists came in there ready to pose, model, and just show out. I mean, that signature salon, we always talk about the signature salon, but they gave it up yesterday. I mean, you would have thought that they were with Tyra Banks.
Well, the only thing I'm going to say is all the salons, I think, the signature salon, because it's a younger crew,
yes,
was very, passionate about what they were doing. But all the salons did an outstanding job.
They did a phenomenal job.
I was so happy to see them there. And I had a conversation with my executive assistant about the ones who didn't show up. And the only comment that I said to him was the ones that was there, Trendy, was the ones that were supposed to have been there.
Exactly. So
all the ones who didn't show up, no, I'm not going to get on the air this morning and go off on you for not showing up. But it's all about, too much is given, much is required.
That's
it's
right.
all about putting your time in. There's an old song that we used to sing, put your time in, payday, come after a while, put your time in, oh, payday, come after a while. See, some of y'all don't know nothing about that. But you got to put your time in.
That's the truth.
And for all of them who want to stay in the bed, sleep, and all that kind of stuff, when the celebrities and all of those people call us for gigs, they're going to be the first ones in line, and I'm going to tell them to sit down and put your time in, payday, come after a while. Like the old folks say, All right, let's move on.
We really appreciate those that came, even those that showed up for a few minutes.
And couldn't stay.
Yeah, and they couldn't stay. We definitely thank you for making that effort to come out and make our photo shoot a success.
Yes. Well, I tell you, also on last evening, it was last evening was an opportunity. I had well, the thing is, everyone, as the Beauty King, you know, you get so many invitations to go to so many different places. And yesterday we had a lot going on. Morgan State had Donna Lawrence out there at Morgan State. We had Shaquita Lee and the Salute to the Drag Divas at the Howard Theater.
Okay.
And there was also the Golden Scissors Awards in Silver Spring. And only thing I want to say was we didn't get a chance to go to the Golden Scissors Awards, but all of the juicy details are coming in about the show. So we thank you. Keep coming in. That I have an obligation and a duty to share all about the beauty events that are going on, and I will be doing that.
Okay.
But we're going to go to the event that I went to, which was the Salute to Drag Divas on Sunday at the Howard Theater.
Okay.
Bennett Career Institute was one of the sponsors. We sent over Kwame and Latoya Shaw and Lucy Taylor. They all went to do makeup for the event. Frederick Sanders is one of our registered makeup instructors at the Bennett Career Institute. And when I just tell you, you know, I didn't get a chance to get her on the line, but when I tell you that, I don't know, listen, and this is for all of my conservative, older people here who, you know, may have an issue with drag queens or male performers or female impersonators and all that. But when I tell you, last night at the Howard Theater was an A1 first-class production where Shaquita Lee did everything from the staging setup to she pre-recorded the actual show, and they did voiceovers, all of that. It was as if we were at a Broadway stage play. And I just tell you, I don't know if she's listening this morning, but when I tell you, you have to give honor where honor is due, you know, and we just appreciate all people, not just black people, white people, straight people, gay people. All we just appreciate all people because we're not into being judgmental. But I tell you, last night it was a sold out crowd at the Howard Theater, and Shaquita Lee did an outstanding job. So I'm glad, Linda, that I chose to attend that event. Now, one thing that I'm going to tell her, oh yes, she gave us a reserved table, but the reserved table was close to the kitchen.
Oh.
So every 2 minutes, people were walking by us, and my cousin said, she started screaming, "Sit down, move out the way." I said, "Sweetie, you can't do that. They at work, and they're doing their job." Exactly. I'm not going to mention no names, lead actress Christine Bennett. But nonetheless, I tell you, we had an outstanding job. We just appreciate the opportunity of the reserved table, but it was just really wonderful. So we sent that shout out. They said that they're having a February show they're having a Valentine's Day show on February 12th. So I'm asking all of our listeners to please make sure if you are comfortable with yourself and you don't have no problem seeing female impersonators and all that, go out to the show, enjoy them, go out to the show, have an opportunity to just see what all kinds of people are doing and bringing bringing different attributes to the main stage.
Okay.
I thought it was wonderful. And see, I had to be cautious and careful because evangelist Trendy Lindy is beside me, and we're not going to have no arguments today about female impersonators and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so we're not going to go there with Trendy Lindy because I see that spirit moving in the room because she's looking at me crazy because she said I'm spending too much time talking about the Salute to Drag Divas.
See, Alan, don't go there.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to say, I'm going to move forward, but I'll just say this.
You are so funny.
I would just say this. I give honor where honor is due across the board. I don't care if you are a midget, a Chinese midget, and you're doing fabulous things. I'm going to say, yes, indeed. And I'm going to keep moving. But I enjoyed myself last night. I laughed. We ate. We just had a great time. So anyway, so let's move forward. So we appreciate all of those kind of great shows and events. And Bennett Career Institute, we love to be a great participant. And I spent this much time because we're going to go to Shaquita Lee about the grand opening. About the opening of the reunion show. Okay. Everybody, I'm telling you now, the tickets are on sale. You owe it to yourself. The Bennett Career Institute Annual Reunion Hair Battle 3,000 first place, 1,500 second place, 750 third place. This year we've added a fantasy hair competition. The tickets are only $25. We're going to UDC Auditorium March 24th, but the tickets are going to sell out. You need to get your tickets as soon as possible. Yours truly, C. Allen, is producing the entire show, and I'm going to bring it to the runway. So I say heads up to Shaquita Lee, because Shaquita Lee gonna be right beside me, because she gonna be sewing and she gonna be doing all kinds of stuff. I hope you're listening, sweetie, because we're gonna make sure that we put on an awesome show. Listen, we got to go to commercial break, but when I tell you, you do not want to touch that dial. Today we're talking about breaking the cycle. This is our Breaking the Cycle series, breaking bad habits, hair breakage. We're going to help you stop doing those things you've been doing. Yes. We'll be right back after these messages. This is the C. Allen Morning Show.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
All right, everyone, we're back here live. It's the C. Allen Morning Show. Today we're talking about Breaking the Cycle series and breaking bad habits. Listen to me. Last week, if you were not able to listen to the show, we talked about hair breakage. I talked about signs, when you need 3 signs to tell you that you need a trim. We talked about 7 tips to maintaining healthy hair. And then what I am doing tomorrow, only this week, I will be at the C. Allen Signature Salon for free consultations. If you want to come in and see yours truly, I'm not giving you to one of the stylists. Yours truly will be there. And I believe I have one of my clients on the line, one of the listeners of the show. She heard the show and she wanted to come in, and she came to the Martin Luther King location for her free consultation. Do I have Ms. Price on the line?
Yes, and how are you?
I am absolutely awesome, Ms. Price, and I was so happy when they said that you called in this morning. So talk to me really quickly. We don't have a lot of time. Talk to me about your experience.
Everybody adored my haircut.
Did they?
My mama, it looked so good, because I didn't tell them where I was going. And Mama been going all day, where is she? So when they saw me that evening, they just love way the stylist had cut my hair, my bangs and all. And thank you very much for the present. And just because you think you're 86 years old, you got to tell us where you're going. So I didn't tell them. But I was so impressed with the shop. When I walked in, I felt such a nice, warm feeling. And all the stylists looked so pretty. I mean, you're the jack of all trades. They were dressed with your decoration. Because I said, well, who is your interior decoration? You said, guess. I said, must have been you. You did a wonderful job.
All right, well, thank you.
And all the girls look good. And especially, I think your name Makaya? Katina. Anyway, thank her, too. I thanked her also. And because I left my walking cane on the bus, and when the metro bus picked me up, she walk out there with me and wait until I got on the bus.
I know that's right.
Wasn't that wonderful?
Well, Ms. Price, let me just say this really quickly. When you came in the door, well, first of all, everyone, I am doing free consultations. I was doing Martin Luther King and Signature. This week, I'm only coming to the 705 location, but Ms. Price went to our Martin Luther King location, the Transformer Katina Rayford. Ms. Price came in and told us that it was her 86th birthday. So we made sure that she left with a C. Allen gift set because it was her birthday. She came in for the free consultation. We did the consultation. We written down her medicines. She has a beautiful head of hair, and she wanted to get a haircut. And she talked about when she was younger, she had bangs. So we made sure that she had some bangs, and we gave her a great haircut. All of that, and the great thing about it is, Ms. Price, it was wonderful that Katina, the Transformer, you came in for the free consultation, but while you were there, since it was your birthday, you said, well, see, Allen, I really want to get my hair done. And they did all of that, the steam treatment, the haircut, and the style, and she only charged you $35.
Wow, that's wonderful.
And that truly was a blessing.
Yeah, so we
and I appreciate it, and I thank all of you.
All right, well, thank you so much, and you keep listening to the show, all right?
Oh, yeah, I had to turn it off because it was he had a feedback.
Okay.
But I'm getting ready to turn it back on there. I want to listen. Another thing I want to tell you. My ball on top.
Mm-hmm.
Come from age and medication.
Yes, it did. Miss Price, don't try to take the show now, because I'm going to talk about that today. Now, wait a minute now. I'm going to respect my elders because you're 86, but you need to hang up the phone now, baby. All right. All right, everyone. Listen, we got to move forward. But, yes, 202-526-1400, extension 42 is Rashawn Broadnex. You can call him right now if you want to set up a consultation with me tomorrow. I'm only doing it tomorrow on Tuesday at the Sea Island Signature Salon, and then next week I'll be back to the Martin Luther King location. But I said it was too much trendy for me to be working in the office and go to one salon one day, another salon another day. By the time the end of the week came, I didn't know where I was coming or going.
Okay.
So tomorrow I'm only doing one location, which is the 705. If you would like to see me in person, yours truly, you need to bring, you don't have to bring the actual medication, but you need to bring the list of medications that you're taking when I do my detailed consultation. It is free of charge. If you want to come back and get your hair done or get your hair done that day, that is totally up to you. But the ploy is not to get you to get your hair done. The ploy is to help you with healthy hair. Today we're talking about Breaking the Cycle series. And before we get into breaking bad habits, I just want to talk about hair for a minute. I thought about the things that we talked about, and I said that today my word to you was tension. When we talk about putting our hair in braids and ponytails, knots and twists, we have to remember that all of this places tension on the hair. Now, we know that you remember when you were growing up and your mama had your hair so tight, it looked like if you touched it, it would pop around the outer perimeter. I'm talking about you. And listen, what's important is while our hair stretches, and somebody say, well, see, Alan, what you mean by stretches? That's what we talk about, elasticity. Elasticity of the hair, meaning that your hair is able to stretch and go back to its natural form. That is one of the purposes that we talked about having the conditioners. And we gave Ms. Price a free hydration station conditioner because that is to help bring in moisture for the elasticity. If you don't have any moisture and they start to stretch your hair for different styles and different things, it may pop because it may be dry and brittle. And that's the reason why we talked about moisture. Okay, so while the hair stretches, which we could consider elasticity to some extent to accommodate the extreme and tight styles, it is going to eventually break. Let me say that again. When you stretch your hair for all of these tight styles, it is going to eventually break. I don't care what anyone say. When you saw the Soul Train Awards trendy, we talked about that. When you saw the Soul Train Awards, Stevie, what's his name? Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder. Yes. It was his locks. It was too tight. It was too tight. It looked like if you touch it, it will pop. Sweetie, I know he's on the television. You all excited, but you do not have to tighten that hand like that. And that could be one of the reasons why it is bald in the front of his scalp. Now, one way you can find out a sore scalp, everybody, is a sure way, a sign for you to know that the style is too tight for the hair. And oftentimes it is called traction alopecia. What is traction alopecia? Traction alopecia is the breakage from tension that the hair may occur. Okay, so when we talk about, a lot of times you see people and their hair is very thin around the outer perimeter, or you see that it is broken off. A lot of that is traction alopecia. That is because of all of the braids. That is because of all of those kind of tight styles. And because of that, trendy, it is going to cause a form of breakage. Now, and especially, listen to me, in extreme cases, repeated and prolonged tension damages the hair follicles. And, of course, what do we talk about the follicles? It would then oftentimes render them unable to produce new hair. And we talked about before, because I have a bald spot in my head, and I ask the students all the time when I teach this at the Bennett Career Institute, I say, why didn't my hair grow back? This happened at 5 and I'm 40-something now. Why didn't my hair grow back? That was because I destroyed the derma papilla. If you destroy the papilla, then your hair will not grow back. What is the papilla, C. Allen? This is where the blood flows. This is what produces the blood supply. This is the reason why I tell people like Alonzo, who's sitting across from me with that bald head, if you want hair, if you can grow hair, I know you say you have hair. I'm just saying that if you want to get a bush by next year, some of the simple things that you can do is just massage your scalp, because massaging your scalp will also stimulate the nerves so the blood supply can move slowly and freely. So I think that's very. Did I say slowly or flowly? I don't know. Anyway, we need a bell so we can ding it. All right. And so listen here now, the 8 main, I'm only going to say this, and then Lindy is going to take over about the bad habits, because I got to talk about these bad habits. I told some of my friends, Lindy, I said, I'm going to tell y'all up to date on the show about these bad habits. So they nervous now because they scared I'm going to call their names. Kevin, Anthony, Jesse. They scared I'm going to call their names. Javarius, Devontae, Taylor. I'm not going to call no names out today when I talk about these bad habits. 8 main real causes of hair breakage. 1 is skin disease. 2 is hormonal imbalances. 3 is testosterone. 4 is friction, and this include wigs. All of the wig wearing that some of you all are doing, and you're just pulling your hair back, putting something over top of your head, and then put the wig on the man. Stress, number 5. Hereditary reasons, number 6. Aging, thank you, Ms. Price, number 7, and hairstyle mistakes is number 8, and that's kind of what we talked about when we talked about hairstyle and mistakes. So today, that is my portion of the hair breakage in reference to Breaking the Cycle series. Now we're going to talk a little bit about breaking bad habits. Trendy.
Breaking bad habits. That is such a broad topic, but we know that we can have bad habits in different areas, physically, mentally, as well as emotionally.
But you know what, Trendy, not to cut you off, I think sometimes we have to determine, because sometimes bad habit, it may be a bad habit for me, but it may not be one for you. Because like you popping that gum this morning and chewing that gum and whirling that gum around like that in the studio almost made me want to knock your head off. And I said to myself, but in the meantime, I'm popping.
In the meantime, you doing it.
I didn't say I was doing it. I said I was popping it. So to me, that's a bad habit for you, but you may not see that as a habit. You may see that as a tension release.
Exactly. And that's exactly.
Mary, don't make it right.
That's exactly what it is. But I find myself just doing it without knowing that I'm doing it. And that is really what a habit is. A habit is something that we just do it. We find ourselves doing it. It's okay. A habit emerges. The brain stops fully participating in the decision making when we do a habit. So it's just something that is automatic. It's like it's on automatic mode. But I was reading a book by Charles Duhigg, and the name of the book is called The Power of Habit. Why do we do what we do in life and business? And he had 3 steps. A 3-step loop of how we get into a habit. And one of the things he said was there's such a thing called a cue. There's a trigger, something that happens in our brain that makes us go automatically into a mode, whether it's, when we wake up, we automatically drink the coffee. When we have a meal, we automatically smoke that cigarette. Okay. But we're going to continue this after we take this break. We must pay some bills right now. And when we come back, we're going to go back into breaking bad habits.
Oh, yeah, because I got some. All right, we'll be right back after these messages.
We are back, everyone, here live at the C. Allen Morning Show with Trendy Lindy and C. Allen himself. We are talking this morning about breaking bad habits, another part of the Breaking the Cycle series. And I was just talking about certain things that causes us to just do the bad habit without even knowing. But I think when it comes to breaking a bad habit, really you have to first recognize that you have a bad habit, like C. Allen said. To him, a bad habit, it may not be a bad habit to me, but to him, he may say, that popping or whatever you're doing is, aggravating a person, is causing them a problem. So we have to really become conscious and, decide that, I have this bad habit, which I want to change. So a lot of people have bad habits that they enjoy, they like.
Okay.
For instance, my mother, she enjoys her cigarette and she's not putting it down. It's a bad habit because it's causing her damage. But she enjoys it. So until you come to the place of recognizing you have the bad habit and you want to change it, you're not going to change it. Another thing, Mr. MD,
okay, wait a minute.
with his Pepsi.
Yes, go ahead. That's right. Call it out.
He got to have a couple of Pepsis every day. Now that's bad for his health.
And it's bad, Trendy, when the doctor have told him
yes
to stop drinking so many Pepsis, and that because of that's bringing on those bad back problems and all of that he has is because of the Pepsi. So let me just say this quickly, because my first thing with breaking bad steps is awareness. You must become aware of your habits, and it goes back to what you're saying, Trendy. We have to talk about, and this is for all of our people who you have to understand what's going on with yourself. Because I'm a yo-yo dieter, and 1 minute my stomach is way out there, and then 1 minute is flat. And I have to say to myself, I have to become aware of the things that I'm doing, all of the carbohydrates and all of what we call the white foods, which is the breads and the rice and all of those things that's going to turn nothing into sugar. Me being a diabetic, those things can't happen. So one of the things that's very important. It is important that we must understand. It is important that we must first acknowledge that we have a bad habit. Acknowledge what those habits are. Eating late at night and then go to bed, and then all of a sudden I got acid reflux because I had no business eating that factory burrito from the cheesecake at midnight.
That's right.
That's a bad habit. So the first thing is awareness, acknowledging that you have a bad habit. Go ahead, Trendy.
So, yes, we have to acknowledge that. And I believe it really becomes a bad habit when it's detrimental, to our health or our family's health. Like you were saying, MD, the doctor told him, stay away from the Pepsi. With my mother's cigarette smoking, she's actually been told, if you smoke one more cigarette, that may be your last. But she still smoked the cigarettes. So,
Trendy, you got MD
Trendy's
on the line.
in trouble.
You got MD on the line, and we got to bring him in.
Come on in, MD. Good morning.
Well, hold on a second. I'm finishing up my Pepsi.
That was good.
Could you hold on a second?
That was good, MD.
We ain't got but a few minutes,
Exactly.
MD. You're going to have to swallow up and come on and talk to us.
That was good.
Pepsi, too. It's a cold Pepsi.
It's cold.
And, let me say this. The Pepsis are bad for you. Okay? And, sometimes, it's a habit, but then when you're talking about, like, cigarettes, talking about with your mother and Pepsi, then it gets to be, I think it's more than just a habit. You know what I'm saying? Then sometimes it becomes an addiction.
An addiction, yes.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And that's where, habits, I think, is something that maybe without outside help that you probably can do it on your own. But like with cigarettes and Pepsis and things like that gum popping, you just take the gum out of your mouth.
That's true.
But with cigarettes and Pepsi and things of that nature or whatever, I think, not saying that it's a serious problem, but then after, that caffeine can be addictive.
Yes.
Yeah. But I just want to know I was listening to y'all this morning.
All right, goodbye, MD.
Can I say this real quick, though?
Yes.
I'm not as drinking as many Pepsis as I used to.
Okay, so you've cut back.
I've cut back, and I know it's not good for me, and I'm drinking a lot more water.
We're proud of you.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you. Go ahead, Trendy.
Thank you for calling. But for me, when it comes to breaking bad habits, I think it's crucial and extremely important to get to the root of the problem. For instance, when we see trees, the tree started off as a seed. The seed was planted, and then the tree took on some roots, and then we see, the tree grows, and then the tree bear fruit. What we tend to do a lot of times is we try to cut off the fruit. I mean, we we cut off the fruit. The fruit are things like cigarette smoking, drinking the Pepsis, going on a diet. But really, we can stop doing all those things. But if we don't get to the root, down to what's really causing us to do those things will just come back. For instance, myself, I over the time of maybe 4 years, I've lost over 100 pounds. And I must sadly say about 80 of those pounds have come back.
Okay.
Why? Because I did not get to the root of the problem of why I'm eating the fast food and overeating and things like that. So now I'm working on, Linda, well, why do you run to the refrigerator, when you're bored? And why when this happens, you instantly go get some French fries, some comfort food?
Okay. So wait a minute. So pause right there.
Okay.
Now let's talk about that for a minute.
All right.
So why do you think, Linda, that why do you think the weight came back after losing over 100 pounds?
Well, just like I said, I've never really taken the time to get to the root of the problem. There is a underlying root problem that most times, stems spiritually, really. I believe most of our problem stems from a spiritual base. But I believe I have to come to the place of understanding, why I'm doing what I'm doing so that I can make a permanent change, a lifestyle change, not just going to the gym, doing my hour on the treadmill, cutting back, the fried foods and stuff. That may last for a temporary time, but as soon as a trigger happens, something bad that I can't control, I may go back.
And the reason why I said, I wanted to stay there with the weight for a moment, because a lot of us suffer with the same situation, which is a bad habit. A prime example, I went to Carolina Kitchen this weekend for the first time on Saturday, me and MD.
Okay.
MD and I. And the food was so delicious, my gracious. Only thing I can say is, freedom.
You in a singing mood today.
The food was so good. I said, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I can eat like this every day besides Thanksgiving and Christmas. But listen to me. I noticed I saw a lot of church people.
Yes.
I'm a church folk, so I can talk about us. I saw a lot of church folk, and I saw a lot of heavy, heavy people there.
Yes.
And it made me start to think, and I asked MD, I said, please look around. Look at all the big folks sitting in Carolina Kitchen eating a lot of that food that is deemed sometimes to be unhealthy because it's about portion sizes.
And then the sugar and the
sugar,
how we
the
cook
salt,
it.
the seasoning, all of that. But then it made me start to look deeper and say, why are a lot of us in church, why are we constantly eating? And I just think that some of it has to do with our surroundings. Some of us have to do with our circle. A lot of times we use food as a form of entertainment. We use food as something that is a part of what we do to enjoy each other's company and all that. Everything has to be surrounded by by something to eat. And one of the things that we got to remember is, when it's time for us to break the bad habits, one of my points is perseverance, talking about getting support from others and not going in those kind of circles where that's what happened. But going back to you, Linda, the only thing I'm going to say is, I can't speak for you, but for a lot of people, self-esteem has a lot to do with it. A lot of times it is a situation where we're feeling not loved, and the food makes us feel good. It's almost like in the beauty industry, you look good, you feel better. So what happened is that you keep going to the salon because you want to feel better. But a lot of times we become emotional eaters. I said to myself, Alonzo, why? When I negotiate an awesome deal, the first thing I want to do is go to Longhorn.
And
I want
celebrate with a food.
Yes.
With a meal.
Or if I'm in a relationship and I have a problem or a situation, or the relationship is over, the first thing I want to do is what? I want to eat.
That's true.
So I'm thinking that one of the habits that we have to talk about, and one of the things that one of the bad habits we have to break is that emotional eating kind of situation.
Yes, definitely. Another thing when it comes to church people, a lot of times eating is our only outlet. We don't drink, we don't smoke, we don't party, we don't do a whole lot of other things that, a lot of the people in the world do. So we can always get together and have a good old brunch, and it seems like everything we do centers food. If someone dies, we eat. If someone gets married, we eat. If someone gets a promotion, we go eat. Everything, we go eat.
Yeah. So I just think that, we have to figure out alternatives.
Yes.
Today, if you're just tuning in on the Sea Island Morning Show, we're talking about breaking bad habits. First, we talked about awareness. You must oftentimes, first of all, you got to know that you have a bad habit.
Yes.
You got to first make that aware. How many people I know that does drugs and alcohol and they don't think it's a problem because they feel like they got it under control.
Exactly.
But do they really have it under control?
Exactly.
Yeah, because I had a friend who drank the entire bottle of Bacardi. I'm not going to call his name because he is listening. Javarius Taylor.
Oh, no.
Drunk the whole bottle of Bacardi. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to say, now, wait a minute, there got to be a problem here because why is the whole bottle gone?
Yeah. But a lot of that, we're trying to medicate our problems with these bad habits, whether it's food, whether it's drugs, alcohol, or sex. We're medicating this feeling that we have and with these things, and
because we think
it's detrimental.
because it's a temporary fix.
It's a
It's making us feel
Band-Aid.
good right now.
Yes, it's
all
a
right,
Band-Aid.
everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We're about to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back. We're talking about the Breaking the Cycle series. We'll be back after these messages.
We are back here on the Sea Island Morning Show. This is Trendy Lindy here with you, and we're talking about breaking bad habits. Before we left, Sea Island asked me the question. Well, I was mentioning how I gained most of the weight back that I lost, and he was asking me, well, why? Why? So, in thinking about that, I know I made a lot of changes to lose the weight, but I stopped doing some of those things. One of the things I had was a great support group. It was a group of girlfriends. Instead of us going out to the restaurants that I love to do, we would go to the gym. We would go for walks. We would go find a volleyball tournament to play. We did a whole lot of things that caused us to be more active versus sitting at a table eating. So I stopped doing some of those things, and then I don't work out as much as I used to. I used to work out 6 days a week. Now I work out maybe twice a week. So there's certain things that you do to break the bad habit that you have to continue doing. So it can't just be a temporary fix, and like we were saying before we left, you can't put a Band-Aid on a wound. You actually have to make it a lifestyle change. It has to be something that you can do for the rest of your life, not for 3 months or 2 weeks or whatever. Right. It has to be every day of your life. So if you're doing something, you're trying to break the bad habit, you got to make sure that it's something that's realistically you can do every day of your life.
Exactly. And I just wanted to say these things. I have 5 steps to breaking bad habits. The first step is awareness. You must become aware of your habits. One of the things that people have said to me, Sea Island, how are you able to handle certain things? The first thing I do is I do Michael Jackson's song "Man in the Mirror."
Okay.
I do reflection. I look in the mirror and figure out. Nobody has to tell me where I go wrong because I see it for myself. I sit back and figure out, well, why am I in the situation I'm in? Why haven't I grown to this level? Why haven't I done this? I look in the mirror and I believe that I'm revealed where my errors are. So it's self-reflection.
Yes.
So we can figure out what's going on. It's just like I noticed with me, a part of me being a yo-yo dieter, if I'm in a relationship, I gain weight.
Okay.
If I'm single, I lose weight.
Okay.
And the sad part about it is that I said to myself, Alonzo, am I losing weight so I can become more attractive to mainstream, so I can get married again, so I can get fat all over again, because that's what the cycle is. I get married, I get fat, I get divorced, I get skinny, and it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And I had to say to myself, well, then are you losing weight for you or you losing weight for somebody else? Then you have to start to think now, oh, my eyes are opening now, which means that, Chet, you got to start loving yourself more that regardless if there's a trendy Linda in your life or not, you're still doing what you're supposed to do.
That's
because
right.
part of that dating cycle is we always going out to eat and always eat. Because I'm telling you, trendy Linda loves to eat.
Yes, I do.
Every time I turn around, we eating.
Yes. We, sir, yes.
Okay, let's stay on track. The first one is awareness. The second one is wanting to change. You must convince yourself that the change is worth it.
Yes.
So first you acknowledge what the bad habit is. The second one is you must want to change, because some people don't want to change.
That's
like
right.
Lindy talked about her mother smoking. She don't want to change.
Now, and let me interject with my mother and that problem. I personally have made it a point not to participate in her bad habit. I will not go and get her cigarettes. I will not be she will not codepend on me helping her with her habit, because if she should take that cigarette and that's the last one, it's not going to be on me, because I preach and I pray and I love on her and try to, show her that, she doesn't have to do it, but she has to want it, like you said. So,
exactly. The third one is commitment. Back to what we just talked about. You must be determined. You must be determined to start what you finish and finish what you start.
Yes.
And that is where the problem, Mr. Broadnix has said to me in reference to my weight issues, in which I would now say to Linda, I believe that our problem falls in number 3, which is commitment.
Okay.
We have to stay committed to what we're doing, because we start off really good. We just did a diet together. We did it for a couple of days. Next thing you know, we sitting in Woodmont Grill having a
good old time,
a steak, the Hawaiian steak.
Lord. Okay.
So it's about commitment. The second one is the fourth one is consistent action. Focus on one change at a time, and that is so important. Most of the time we mess up because we try to change the world in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day. Take one thing and work on it.
One day at a time.
And then another thing and work on it until you get it. And that's what's important, but not try to take on everything at a time. The last one is perseverance. Okay, times you will question, is it really worth it? Oftentimes you are so used to your old self and you're comfortable with your bad habits that you want to stay in that place. For an example, you need to get support from others.
Yes.
And that's what Trendy was talking about. And then finally, the drugs and alcohol. A lot of times we need professional help. We have to stop saying we got this. We have to stop saying this is under control. We have to stop saying, oh, I'm all right with it. But it is about some things we cannot do by ourselves.
That's true.
It's the same thing with, like, a lot of times when you have weight goals, get you a partner and let's try to lose weight together. We shouldn't be in it by ourselves. I love Trendy when I see my clients, if they happen to have cancer issues or they develop cancer, what have you, how their daughters shave their hair off right with the mom, so they can have somebody in their corner.
Yes,
But
that's
listen,
powerful.
Our time is almost up. This is very important for those of you who are seeking consultation for your hair. I am here to help you. This is not a gimmick. I'm not trying to make money off of you. No. What I'm doing this Breaking the Cycle series, if you know someone who has hair breakage, if you know someone, I'm going to be working with Dr. Howard Brooks, who is a skincare expert. He owns Georgetown Skin. What we want to do is I want to be able to help you if you have a problem with your scalp, or if you just want a professional to look at you. We're not asking you to switch your style or switch your salons. We're asking, give C. Allen an opportunity to look at your scalp and make sure that you're doing what you need to do now that we're in the winter season. Especially things like today, it's going to be almost 70 degrees, but tomorrow maybe back to 40, all that kind of stuff. 202-526-1400, extension 42. 202-526-1400, extension 42. Tomorrow I will be at the Signature Salon, but you must have an appointment. If you do not have an appointment, a lady came in, listen, Alonzo, a lady came in last week because she knew I was at the MLK. She said, you the man on the radio. I said, yes, ma'am. Well, I need you to so-and-so. I said, no, ma'am, because you did not have an appointment.
Exactly.
You all are not going to stalk me and come running around because, see, Alan said he's going to be this place. No, we're going to do things in decency and in order.
Right.
So if you would like to see me on tomorrow, you need to call Rashawn right now at the 202-526-1400, extension 42. If you have a friend or loved one who've been having problems, their hair may not be breaking off because Miss Price, she just had a little thinning in the front, but we knew that was because of her age and because of the medication. So that was okay, and it was okay. We just gave her a different style to where you really can't see the thinning in the front. Give me an opportunity to kind of help you out through these winter months in reference to consultation. But today we're talking about Breaking the Cycle series.
And we also want to remind you that at our Southeast location, 2100 MLK, we are offering the 50% off for all services. So we want you to utilize our awesome team of professionals over at the MLK Salon. Their number where you can reach them is 202-678-1009. They will be happy to help you out with that hydration station for half price, as well as weaves, braids, locks. They do everything.
All of that.
Silk and press silks and everything.
Calm down. And that is the location where Miss Price had talked about. And I'm so glad she did that, because oftentimes what happens, Alonzo, is when people think of the Martin Luther King Salon across from the big chair in Southeast, they think of ghetto and all that. And you heard Miss Price, an 86-year-old who's not going to lie for Seattle.
That's right.
She talked about how beautiful the salon was. She talked about how beautiful the ladies looked and how she had an awesome service. And they helped her to her access, Metro Access, to get on the bus, because it's not oftentimes about where you are. It's what's going on the inside.
That's right.
And we train our people how to pamper, and that's how we end our show every day. We always tell you to pamper yourself is your duty, because you're worth it.
Yes, you are worth
because
it.
you are worth it.
Yes.
And that's something that we had to get into another time. We don't want to get on that kind of mantle, because then we get calls from MD and other people like, is this a beauty show, or is this the Oprah Winfrey Network and all that kind of
Dr.
stuff?
Phil.
Dr. Phil or Dr. Phil Good. You know how he do. But I just wanted to take an opportunity, my time is up, but just to thank all of you for listening to the show.
Yes.
Week after week. The show is about beauty, it's about education, it's about beauty entertainment, and we like to make sure that we do a crossover. Not only do we want to help you with your hair, but we want to help you on the inside.
Yes.
Because not only do we want you to be beautiful on the outside, but you need to be beautiful on the inside.
Yes.
So from yours truly, Trendy Lindy, myself, the Bennett Career Institute, which is at 700 Monroe Street, and you know we're open Tuesday through Saturday. We're here to service you. All right, everyone, my time is up. Don't forget the 202-526-1400, extension 42, if you want to see if you want to see me for consultation. I forgot who I was. All right, everybody, my time is up. Pamper yourself, because it's your duty.
Because you are worth it.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.